Here we go.
Oh, all right. Hello, everybody.
Just Dan,
Ba-dum,
just
bum, bum, bum.
not Dan,
Not the time, Dan. Not
Dan,
the
Dan.
Sorry. A little bit of levity, huh?
yeah.
Not a
well, I
great
guess
lead-in.
it's hilarious. I just didn't talk to Dan beforehand, but I was gonna just wanted to bring us in. Yeah, all right. Well, now I'm laughing. We will notice that Anthony is not here today. He is dealing with a passing of a family member. I don't know how to do this now. Jesus Christ, that's yeah. So we're going to we're just going to go on. Anthony, this is not a joke that we didn't tell Harumi, so he came in with a really funny song, and 2 minutes before we we were all just Brendan and I were in a sad place. So we're just gonna do the podcast today, and we're gonna get through it. I don't know. I got nothing now because now I'm laughing at this incredibly ridiculous situation of how I was going to talk about Anthony and how much I love him, but Harumi didn't know that, so brought us.
You can start over if you want. I don't know. Sorry.
No.
I love that song.
It's absolutely wonderful.
I would say there is no more Rad Dudecast way of honoring Anthony and of honoring Anthony's family than leading into a heartfelt tribute to him with a barbershop quartet going shooby-doo wop wop wop.
Yeah.
But honestly, our thoughts are with Anthony today. I don't know. We reveal some personal things on this podcast. We don't reveal a ton, and I don't want to put Anthony's business out there. All I would say is that Anthony is kind of the only son, and there's so many women, and it basically Anthony shoulders a lot in his family, and it's very impressive, and I respect him so much for it. He really takes on a lot of responsibility and shoulders a lot in his family, and so many people in his family rely on him that he really is a hero of mine, and I'm so sad that he's going through what he's going through, Greg.
Yeah. Yeah, he's the he's like my best friend. He's a great. He's the best. He's the best. When I don't know if he literally takes everyone's. He just takes people and puts them on his shoulders and then carries them. And then shit like this, he doesn't. He's kind of private with this kind of stuff. So we're in that weird place where I don't really know what you want to say or what to talk about because I don't want to we kind of said that I don't know who's but he's he had a passing in the family, and it's sad because you are your friend, it's your friend is going through it, and then I don't know when I moved to this city, I didn't have any money. I didn't have this isn't a thing where it was like, I'm broke. No, I didn't have $1 to move to New York City. We came here. He gave me $1,000 for for our down payment to move to the city without a question, without asking. He just was like, yeah, because I didn't know that when you move somewhere, you needed to give them money. I was like, oh, you live there for 30 days and then you give them rent. That's what I thought. And there's you need first, last month's, all that shit. He put all of that money down for me and then held it over my head for about 10 years. No, he didn't hold it over my head. He just said, you pay me when you have so much money that you won't notice that this won't bother you. And so literally for about 10 years, I owed Anthony like $3,000. It went up and down because every now and again I just give him a little bit of money to try to pay it down. And then when we got the job at the break, but like their first writing job, I paid him back. But that was 10 years after something like 10 years after we moved to the city. And, the little guy, he's a little guy. And
the truth is he gave you a favorable interest rate too. And that's,
the VIG.
Yeah.
No, he obviously there was no interest. And before I get back to my Anthony tribute, you, Greg, as a grown man in your 20s, you had worked in the ER, you had done all these things. You thought that it was feasible to move to New York with $0. That was
like an immigrant in like the 20s.
Yeah,
like a Polish immigrant.
Yeah,
showed up on the Lower East Side.
$0. But I had $0 in New Jersey, so I was like, I have $0 in New Jersey, I have $0 in New York. I just have $0, and then that's what you do. And he's fucking pulled me out of, dude, all of this shit. He's fucking pulled me out of everything. He with his mom, he just puts everybody on his shoulders.
Yeah, and we should mention, only because he's said repeatedly on podcasts that he will commit suicide the day his mom dies. We should mention it. It's not his. Joanne has not passed. His mom.
No, no, his mom.
But the thing is, I think maybe it might be lost a little bit in the dynamic of the Rad Dudecast, because comedically, and I guess from what you guys see, Anthony can be this sort of heart, his attention's flying everywhere. He's this flaky sort of character that's in and out, and it's so funny. But what you might not know, not really knowing him, is that he's, when it comes down to the real things in life, like the things that actually matter, he will be there for his friends 100% of the time. Like, no fucking questions asked. He just shows up. And I think that might not come through on the Rad Dudecast because we're joking, and and he does his thing, and he's in and out, he's all over the place. But the truth is, as a person, when the shit hits the fan, Anthony, there's no one I would count on more than Anthony to be there, when needed. And so we're thinking about him.
It's not even. Sorry.
Go ahead.
It's not even like, it's crazy. Like, it's not even when the shit hits the fan. The guy is there for me every single day for every single thing. Like, I'm a completely hard friend to have because I need a lot of attention. I'm talking a lot. The guy, like, we were doing that. I don't know, man. He's just a good guy. He's just like the best. Literally, he's like he's like a brother to me. And I think he's like a brother to all of us. But he's like, with this shit, he's just always there. And what sucks is that he's such a little shit that he doesn't. You can't, like, he likes to take his space. So all I know how to do is just grab and hug the guy, and he's like, hey, just give me like 5 minutes. So we're giving him 5 minutes. And he better be over it. He better be over this by the next episode because we got to work. We're here to work.
I like how any tribute would end that way. Best guy in the world. Anyway, he's got 2 days. He's got 2 days to go do this. We got
yeah.
Now I got some news, Greg.
I hope.
Can I hear it too?
Yeah.
No, Dan. I got some big time news. As I'm saying this, I'm trying to think up the news.
Yeah.
But you know how that game goes. On the Rad Dudecast, a lot of times we preface announcements while we're thinking of what announcement we're going to make to sort of change subjects. Anyway, welcome to the Rad Dudecast. Thank you guys so much for tuning in. Thank you for your ongoing support. The different Patreon tiers have been a tremendous success. If you haven't been privy to that, let me explain them one more time. We're still offering the Thursday $5 Patreon episode, but being in quarantine and as much of our work, much of our money comes from live stand-up comedy, which is not happening. We're not going to just sit here and ask you for donations, although that's fine. You can also Venmo us if you want. But we've added 2 more episodes per week. So we're now doing 4 episodes per week. We've got the $5 episode. Now there's also a $10 episode and a $15 episode. That's patreon.com/RadDudecast. Just make sure when you pay, you click the tier that you're paying. I think that's important. But for all of those, for all of you guys that have done that, thank you so much. And this I can't make this. I can't stress this enough. We definitely understand what's happening in the country, what people are going through. So if you don't have the money, please don't do it. Don't scrimp or stretch or try and you don't owe us anything. Continue to enjoy the free episode. This is just for people that maybe are still employed and have the money to do it and want some extra episodes a week. But we absolutely don't want to be taking money from people that aren't in a position to give us money. Unless you're evil, if you're a bad, you know what I mean, Greg? Like maybe if you're a murderer, but only a bad murderer. Some murderers I think are okay.
If you Me Too'd somebody in the past and you're looking for redemption, this is the way. This is donate to us and you're clean. You're clean.
I won't
It's like going to confession.
That. I won't say you're clean, but it's a start. Harumi brought up confession. Talk about, the Catholics, and I'm baptized Catholic. I don't practice, but you were too, right, Craig?
What?
You're
I was baptized,
Catholic?
yeah, and I'm also, as my dad will say, I'm a confirmed Catholic.
Yeah.
So there's nothing I can do about it.
Yeah. What a wild invention that is. Sin all you want, then just go in a box with an old guy and tell him about it, and you're fine.
Yeah.
Just tell an old guy about it. He'll tell you to do about 15 Hail Marys. Clean as a whistle. Go into heaven.
He's going to go easy on you. He's done a lot worse.
Yeah.
So he's not going to you stole something. You know what this guy did? It's going to be 3 Hail Marys and you're good.
There's confessionals in the Vatican that are just 2-way booths where priests just tell each other back and forth how many kids they've fucked. And they just go, hey, you're all right, Monsignor. You're all right too, Archbishop. And then clean as a whistle, right into heaven.
Confessional. Oh, so I thought you were saying, but confirmation is also crazy. Confirmation, you get confirmed as a Catholic in 6th grade.
Yeah, I was never confirmed. I was only baptized.
Yeah, you get confirmation.
So it's like the bar mitzvah thing?
Confirmation. No, bar mitzvah is like you're like a man, I believe.
It's 13, right around there.
But it's a similar
rite of passage.
It's a little bit different. Confirmation means you're officially a Catholic.
Yes.
Okay.
Bar mitzvah kind of means you're officially a man, but it's similar in that I think a bar mitzvah means you're a man, officially a man of the Jewish faith. So it is sort of similar.
Yeah, confirmation means you've committed to how the world works, how everything works, what you're going to do, how you're going to live your life in 6th grade, which is fucking insane.
Yeah.
Well, back when they started that, people lived till like 8th grade, so 6th grade was you were an elder statesman.
Everyone would just die after 8th grade. They're like, he just learned algebra. This sucks. Right. We should really make this a
finally
third-grade
kissed
system.
A girl.
Let people live.
Yeah, man.
Why would you bring up Catholic? Oh, sorry.
What?
You brought up religion. I have no idea why.
why did I? Oh, because Dan mentioned something was like confession.
Oh, right.
Dan mentioned something was like confession. I forget what it was, but that reminded me of. I just think confession is such a wild concept of like, oh, telling a guy makes it fine.
Oh
That
yeah.
you've just invented a way. You invented a loophole. Like, yeah, what a ridiculous. You're clean now as a
Yeah.
person because you told some fucking guy who was, you know, the fucking the shittiest one of his siblings, so they made him become a priest.
Yeah. Yeah, the whole thing. I mean, I'm not a religious guy, but I will say this. This is on another note, but like, this is it's also oddly weird to bring this up, but it was something that's been weird. But nah, never mind. I want to say this, man. If you're good at something, you should just do it now. Now is the time. You know what I mean? Like with this podcast, I was kind of thinking about it. This is. I'm sorry, man. This isn't really a funny topic, but
they don't always have to be funny. We give the people what they get.
We played the barbershop music. That was funny.
Yeah, like the thing that's been bothering me a lot through this is, as a guy, and I think as a not just like I worked in a healthcare system. Part of me I wish I could be doing something, right? It's like, fuck off. But doing
Right.
something literally adds to people getting sick. Like if I go and try to help, you can get other people sick. I don't have any licenses. I'm not an ER nurse.
Right.
So you just feel like I'm stuck in this, I'm just stuck in this house without being any way to do anything. And then I was like, I got a couple minutes, like all I can really do is make YouTube videos, right? And you could watch the YouTube videos. And maybe that takes somebody out for a minute, right? I guess what I'm trying to get at is I watched the movie Bumblebee yesterday, and that is a shitty movie. But for 2 hours, I felt good. You know what I mean? So like, and this Zelda game, they don't know when they made Zelda that it was going to get me through COVID, right? So I'm really happy that the people who made Zelda made it good. They worked really hard on it. So I guess if you're out there and you do a thing, whatever that thing is that you enjoy doing, now is the time to do it. If you bake cookies, if you're just good, like, do that shit now because it just helps everyone get out of it for 1 minute because this shit sucks. It sucks.
Yes.
Yeah.
Absolutely. And I want to add on to that. Because I think that's 100% true. And I also want to add on to that this. And I know, our listeners, a lot of you guys have jobs where you're still employed. You're able to work from home or you're out there on the front lines. I know we have like several delivery drivers that listen to our show, and thank you guys for being out there and risking your life essentially to keep kind of the infrastructure of society going. But what I would say to people who are home, quarantined, and feeling helpless, feeling depressed or anxious or all this stuff. There are people, you go on social media and you're kind of inundated with content and all of this stuff, and it can make you feel pressure to be productive during this time. And I'm not disagreeing with
with
what
I love where you're
Greg
going.
said. Yeah, I'm not disagreeing at all with what Greg said because I think if there's something you enjoy and you're good at, do it. It's do your part. But I also want you to know, I think it's very, very important to understand, okay, this is a global pandemic. This is probably the greatest crisis you will face in your lifetime. Your only job is to stay home, stay alive, and be responsible about not spreading this disease. That's it. You don't have to feel bad about not being productive. If you stay in bed till 2:00 because you're having a fucking shitty day because you've been stuck inside, that is okay. People are putting this tremendous pressure on themselves to get stuff done during this time and build and learn new skills and do this, that, and the other. All that's great if it's making you happy. But if it's not, if you're just beating yourself up and feeling like a piece of shit because you're not being productive, you're not a piece of shit. Your productivity right now is stopping the spread of this virus, period. So you staying in, you watching Netflix, that is fine. Like, that's completely fine. There's too many people who feel like they have to do something right now, and you don't. You know, you can sit and you can grieve for people that you know that are sick, that you've lost. You can grieve for what's going to come to the economy. You can feel sad and uncertain about the future. All of that's okay. That's okay, and that's normal. And it's important to realize that's a normal way to feel.
Yeah, I just want to add real quick too that, like, to what I said as well, as I also agree with you, and that's a really great, important take on that. Is also, I just want to clear up that sometimes what you're good at is just listening to people and being there for your friends via Zoom. And, you know, like, I wanted to write a script. I was like, I'm going to write a movie for this COVID. I haven't opened the computer once to write a thing. I haven't written a new joke. I haven't done shit. You know what I mean? But, you know, I am really good at making my friends laugh. So I've just been calling my friends on Zoom and just listening to them and talking. And Tita is really good and at just making brownies. So she made me brownies. And it takes you out of it for a minute. So, like, don't, you know, whatever those things are that keep people safe, you know, like, I that makes sense, right, Brendan?
Yeah, absolutely. Like, it's funny, like, you know, you have so many comedians like creating these new like YouTube series or like little character shit on Instagram. And that's not my jam. That's not where my comedy usually goes. But it's funny. I saw a sponsored, I got an ad in my Instagram feed for Nikes about a week and a half ago, where it was one of those scroll through ones. And I was like, I'm going to review these in my stories. All of a sudden I got like 20 messages like, this is fucking great, man. You got to keep doing this. And now I review shoes every morning. And it's like, people like it. It's fun for me. It gives me like some fun interaction during the day. And it's like, well, now I'm just reviewing shoes. That's my content.
Are you enjoying it?
Yeah, I love shoes. I just take a picture of a bunch of shoes, write shit about them. You know, yesterday this guy suggested this brand from Finland. They had some nice sneakers. I put some humor in there. I had to put a disclaimer. I had to put a disclaimer on that because the second slide said disclaimer: a Finnish foreign exchange student made out with my high school girlfriend. My friend old James saw it with his own eyes. She continued to deny it, gaslit me, and I'm gonna try and remain impartial to these shoes. But let me just say it's gonna be hard.
Yeah, it's impossible.
Old James and Charlie saw it with their own eyes. She said, didn't happen. What?
I hate the
my
Finns.
Two best friends are making this up?
Well, I'll tell you now, I'm not impartial. Now I hate the Finns now.
Yeah.
I'm going to need 3 Finn people to send me something nice for me to.
Well, and this guy, the Finn, we called him the Finn. I forget his name. He was all right, too. I guess they got different morals about making out with people's girlfriends, but I didn't mind him either. He was on the hockey team.
The Finn is a really cool nickname.
Yeah. Well, if you're from Finland or a dolphin.
A Finn.
Yeah. Harumi, it looked like you were going to say something before, but I thought I cut you off. What?
We were talking about like, it's okay to kind of do your own thing. I think it's also something I came around to these last few days. It's okay to not watch Cuomo every day.
Yeah,
it's okay to not watch these fucking charts going up every day. It's like you want to be informed, but at the same time, it's like you got to realize that you have no control. Figure out what you have control over and do that.
Yeah.
But like for the first couple weeks of this thing, I was just every day reading news and following numbers and shit, and it's like it's too much. Your brain isn't supposed to handle all this information.
Dude, yesterday, last night, somebody messaged me that was like, Cuomo has ruined New York, and then someone today wrote that Joe Biden is the worst human being who's ever lived. And look, no, this is not me not taking a stance on either of those things, but I can't. I just fucking can't anymore. I can't fucking deal with people hating everyone with like, look, I get it, like I'm not a fan of the president, But like I just can't with like even like liberals, people on the left who are like, no one can be perfect. The Louis shit. Everyone's like, we gotta get. It's like I'm off. I'm out. I'm out. Hands up. Don't come. I'm out. I'm out.
Yeah, man.
I'm not very good at articulating. I gotta be honest.
No, I know exactly what you mean. It's like, dude, it's fucking overwhelming right now.
Yeah.
It's like, it's goddamn overwhelming. And I think what's important for people to realize is that to feel that way is natural. You know, like if you're overwhelmed, if you feel overwhelmed with this information, with what's happening, that is natural. Like we are in a crazy fucking situation.
I hate to interrupt you, but you know what I'm not overwhelmed with? How long your hair is getting. Let me see that. Dude, that is like full ponytail. Give me a left side.
No. I'm going to give you a character, okay? Look away for a while.
I'm going to close my eyes.
Close your eyes. I'm going to give you a new character.
Do I talk or do you just
keep talking. Keep talking.
Maybe I'm gonna masturbate today in honor of Anthony. Is that an honor? Would he want that? Would he want that, Harumi?
Absolutely, he'd want that. All right, open your eyes, my friend.
I cannot believe I finally get to meet the guy from Death Cab from Cutie.
What's up, bro?
Yeah, it really shows when it is you bleached your hair. It's just like rings on a tree.
Oh, that's not, bro. I never bleached my hair. That's the sun, bro. I'm out there riding waves. I didn't know the coronavirus. I never seen it, man. I got out there.
Yeah, you should just do a whole. This guy just needs his own podcast.
I got a podcast. You want to check me out?
Videos.
It's called check me out. You can get me. It's called Under the Boardwalk because that's where I live, man. I'm a homeless world's number one ranked homeless surfer.
Yeah, you look good. This is great. What's your name?
What? Kiefer? Kiefer Reefer.
Hey man, that's great. We gotta bring you back. We gotta bring you back when we can do this.
Sounds like you think I'm leaving, bro. That's cool. Whatever you say, man. I ain't gonna know it. Kiefer Reefer here to stay, motherfucker.
Oh, how do you deal with death, Kiefer?
Oh man, shit, man. Well, when you're world's number one ranked homeless surfer, death is at your doorstep every day of the week, ringing that doorbell, trying to deliver a package. You open the package, what's in it? Your friend, Dogbone, dead.
How'd Dogbone die? And why'd they deliver him to you?
Oh man, that was a metaphor, but they also did deliver him to me because he had listed me as his emergency contact. But he
Wait a minute. So when you're an emergency contact, they deliver the dead body to you in a package? Is that how the homeless surfing world works?
Yeah, it's a gnarly setup we got, man. But it's just like, who else is gonna take care of Dogbone? I buried him anyway. I mean, I buried most of them.
You buried the bone.
I buried most of them. He's sticking out a little, but what am I, Arnold Schwarzenegger? I tried to dig a hole, man. I haven't had protein forever.
You haven't had what?
Protein.
Oh, yeah, that's not good.
I don't
man.
what
do you do to get protein? What do you do for food? Why are how are you surviving on the beach?
I hermit crabs a lot. Find some hermit crabs, suck them out of their little shell. But a lot of times it turns out they're little girls' pets because I didn't know they paint the shells, I just take I find it and eat it.
Where are you finding them? That's the problem. I would imagine that where you're finding them is going to let you know if they're pets or not.
I go to people's houses and whatnot and look around, find hermit crabs. And so a lot of people say, if you're already breaking in the house, why don't you go to the kitchen?
Yeah.
Kiefer. I don't want to go. I go find a crab in the little girl's room.
Yeah, but there's probably more food in the kitchen. I don't condone breaking into people's houses. I don't think you should be breaking into people's houses. There's soup kitchens you can go to.
What? Yeah, but they all trying to give you. I go there, y'all trying to give me soup. I don't like soup.
Yeah, that's the problem with soup kitchens. It's all soup.
It's too wet.
Yeah, they should do a sandwich kitchen.
I gotta go anyway. I don't like this guy that much.
I love him, man. I could do this for an hour. I thought we found it.
that was Kiefer Reefer, the world's
Yeah,
#1 rated homeless surfer.
Yeah, that was great. That was a great character. Also, I realized, because at first I was like, I don't know how to do this because I'm sad. And then it was like, oh no, this is easy. I could just ask questions and not do anything and let you be funny.
Yeah.
That works.
I felt like I wasn't being. That's why I bailed.
No, it was great. See, it's hard to know if it's being funny when the two people you're trying to make laugh, one is trying not to cry and the other one is Stone Cold Steve Harumi. This guy hasn't laughed at a joke in 7 years I've known him.
For those of you...
All right, sorry.
For those of you, that's like the fucking under the sea dance in Back to the Future. That's what they were playing there until he invented rock and roll. But for those of you that have never noticed this, one thing I would like to point out, in the years, months, days, I don't know how long it's been, that Dan Harumi's been producing the Rad Dudecast, we have never once made him laugh. Never. He's never.
Oh, no, that's not true.
That is 100% true.
Steve Brendan is not a YouTube watcher.
What?
You got to go back and watch the YouTube that very few people watch. You will see me laughing at several points throughout the last few shows.
I know you think we're funny, but you laugh a lot on the inside. You can tell. You're not a guy who goes like this. You're a guy who goes like this.
Greg staring at the screen, ice
is
cold.
A standing ovation.
I have good microphone control, so I can laugh. And go,
yeah. Look.
You guys hold the mic in front of your face.
Oh, now he's coming after he's saying we're not professionals.
He's
the only professional.
Baby.
Yeah.
Greg, let me ask you this. I want to shoot straight with you on this because I don't know what the fuck is going on with this. This is not my world. This is your world.
Yeah. We also just say, Dan, I love you, and I know you have a great. We know you have a great sense of humor.
And you're not expected to laugh. We don't. It's on us to make you laugh. You have no contractual obligations to laugh. That might be something we work in next time. But now, Greg, let me ask you this, because of course, I'm not a wrestling guy. Never have been. How did this 2-day WrestleMania go down? Did you watch it?
Dude, it was. I turned it off for two reasons. I watched a little bit of it, and it was awkward. And because there's no audio, you need a crowd, and they refuse to change. Like, if you don't have a crowd, you change, right? We don't have a crowd right now, so we're not doing stand-up. We're doing podcasting, right? This is how you do it. They could have leaned into that. They could have been like, all right, we're going to do all matches that are like outside in the boiler room, all non-crowd-based things, and they didn't. And they could have been really creative, but instead they were like, nope, we're just going to do it without a crowd. And I was watching it, and I thought the first matches I saw were awkward and weird. And then two, the fact that Vince, I've already been having a hard time watching wrestling lately after watching the Benoit documentary. And you see just like how much these people go through that I almost feel shitty supporting it now. I'm like, I don't want to support these people fucking killing themselves. So I've been having a hard time. And then to watch Vince literally send these people in the middle of Corona to do something that is not social distancing. Like, you're endangering people.
Right.
So I felt weird not supporting it. But I heard there were some good matches.
What's funny with the way wrestling works, though, people don't realize, because there's usually a crowd, is how much of the actual technical aspect of it is wrestlers talking to each other during the match.
Yeah.
And the mics are picking up everything now. So throughout the match, you're hearing wrestlers say like, "Oh shit, my bad," or
you're hearing them call it.
Yeah, left arm up or something like that. And it's like,
wow,
that's fun.
Go now.
Well, it's like hearing like the huddle play or something, or
yeah,
you're not supposed to hear this much.
Yeah,
dude,
crazy.
I love any audio picked up from sports trash talk. And like I hate the official mic'd up, like the
Right.
NFL mic'd up or the NBA mic'd up, because those guys know they're mic'd up, so you don't get the real deal. But I love when you pick up the real deal, and you can find a lot of YouTube like videos about that. And my favorite is Andrew Luck, the former Colts quarterback, because no one knew how to deal with him, because like he would just get cheap shot smashed in the back, like just crushed as a sack, and just be like, good hit, man. Great hit. I like what you did there. Great hit to the other guy. Every play, every time he got hit, he just like, that was nice, big boy. That was a nice one. I like that. You hit hard. Like,
didn't that guy retire?
Guys. What? Yeah, he retired.
Because he got hit too much?
Yeah, well, I mean, wasn't, I don't think, explicitly said, but usually when a quarterback retires when they're not, when they're still in their prime, it's a matter of they've had too many concussions. But that may have been official. I don't remember. But he's the best, because it would get in guys' heads, because it would be like, I'm hitting this guy as hard as I can, and he fucking loves it. Like they would be like losing their shit, because most quarterbacks would just lie there and be like, fuck you, man. And you would just like, nice work, 97. Keep it up. Nice work. Like,
that's what my stepdad used to do. He used to come down and he would he would put down the belt and the pipe, and he would say, which one do you want? And I would say, give me both. I love them both. And then he would pass out the dildo, and I would go, give me the dildo the most. And we would fuck. And that's how he tried to abuse me, but really it turned me into what I am.
Reverse psychology.
And we've talked about it before on this podcast, but one of the craziest scenes in movies of all time, where at the time I remember thinking, damn, that's good writing. But then in hindsight, you're like, he would put out a belt and a wrench.
Yeah.
And I always picked the wrench. Why? Fuck him. That's why. What do you mean? He killed you.
That's a
wrench kills you. That's a murderous weapon. What are you talking about?
He would put down a wooden stick and a cup of poison. And I would drink the rat poison every time, because fuck him. No, you're dead. You're dead.
He would put down a stuffed My Little Pony and a samurai sword. And every time I picked the samurai, because fuck him, that's why. And he cut my head off.
Yeah. Well. Anyway.
I'm looking skinny, huh? I'm thinning out, I think.
You are.
Am I thinning out a little bit? You look like you're thinning out, too.
No, you're just saying that to make me feel better. But
I'm not. I'm looking at you. Why'd you do that? He just went down. Anyone can make a double chin if they do a double. I got 2 rashes going now. Did you know about that? I got another rash. I got my one rash going.
I didn't get the Brendan rash email this week, which I wanted to bring up to you.
Yes, go ahead.
Yeah, what the fuck, man? I'm signed on for the email about Brendan's rashes, and this week's what you stopped doing it?
Can I explain?
Yeah, I want an explanation. I'm paying for the. I'm paying.
I'd like to explain. I know you are paying for B-Man's Rash newsletter. My publisher. I'm in kind of a war with my publisher right now. Okay, ad sales. The split this guy wants on ad sales are ridiculous. So I had to go on strike.
They always get you on the split.
So I had to go on strike with my guy who does all the, because that's not. I'm not making my Rash newsletter myself. I've got a full-time writing staff. There's a photographer on staff. There's a videographer. We got a gaffer. We got a giffer. We got a gaffer. So
you have a gabber? You have a gabber? Guy comes in and just talks.
We had to let him go because the guy wouldn't shut the fuck up. But I'll give you the updates. Belly rash, staying stable, not spreading, no creams will make it go away. And now I have this neck rash. You can't really see it, but it just comes and goes. It comes and goes. And so now I got 2 rashes.
You don't have 2 rashes. You have 1 rash that's getting worse. That's how that works. The belly rash isn't.
because they're not connected, and they're different types. They're different species. We're talking a bumpy and a skin discoloration. 2 different species.
No, this is a problem.
Mm-hmm.
Do you feel lightheaded or fever?
No. It's not corona. There's no rashes
No, it's just
associated with corona.
infection.
Oh, I don't think it's infected. I don't know, but I buy a different cream every time I go to the store. So
That could be it too. You might want to stick on a 1-cream regimen.
That'd be tough to see a dermatologist right now, huh?
Well, yeah, and
Telemedicine.
for me, it's always I'll never see a dermatologist. I don't go to doctors, so
Especially not pussy doctors. Dermatologists are pussy doctors. Those are doctors for pussies. Let me tell you, you see a heart doctor, you see a bone doctor, any other doctor, you're a pussy.
There was New York Times, de Blasio wrote this thing a couple weeks ago, or last week, where you got the text? You guys get that text where they're looking for doctors in New York City?
Yeah.
And they're like asking for volunteers. De Blasio wrote this thing where he was calling for like all doctors to volunteer to like work at hospitals. And he was saying that he was calling in like podiatrists.
Oh yeah, they're calling in every.
Can you imagine if you're in the hospital for corona and the fucking podiatrist shows up?
Well, but keep in mind, I mean, yes, you do like most jobs, you learn the most on the job. So you learn most of what you learn in your residency. But keep in mind, all those guys do go through the exact same med school curriculum. Like even a psychiatrist has to go through med school and do like a surgical class and all that. So yes, they're not as good at it because they haven't done the residency in it, but they have gone through the exact. There's not like a separate podiatry med school. You know, it's all they have to go through med school first and then get their thing. So they are doctors. Now, what's crazy about what you've said, Greg, go ahead.
Sorry. This is an emergent. Imagine you're in the hospital and then you get one. They just keep going down the line, and you're like, "Hey, what are you a doctor of?" And he's like, "I don't know, mystic arts,
economics."
Yeah.
I have a PhD in philosophy, but I'm going to give this thing a go."
Dr. Cosby.
Yeah, ancient religion, ancient Gallic religions.
Yeah.
Anyway,
I use Sanskrit.
Yeah. But what is crazy? That message that came out was crazy. Just to think about, like, that there is. Who are these doctors that are just not being doctors? Like, they're like, oh shit. Maybe I should go be a doctor.
They don't mean me.
Text
I
from
haven't read the news in a while. What's going on?
Yeah. Maybe I should go be a doctor. I've just been working at fucking the post office for the last 13 years.
Yeah, de Blasio's a will take podiatrist, dermatologist, but no dentists. Dentists can't do. This isn't a teeth thing, fag.
Yeah.
It's like the assassin who gets brought back for one more job.
Yeah.
He's washing his car. It's like, no more.
Yeah. And Dr. Dre.
Yeah.
Guys working on COVID. How are we doing on time, Hermie?
We got like 20 minutes left.
They begin the Mets pitcher Doc Gooden.
What?
You know Doc Gooden?
Yeah. He was like from the 80s, right?
I think so, right? He was a Mets guy, right, Hermie?
I think so, yeah.
Yeah, he was.
Yeah.
All right.
What drugs? Hermie, what drugs have you done?
Oh. We already talked about this before, right?
Nope.
I'm not a drug guy.
How many have you done?
I did mushrooms once, and it didn't really take too well. And, pot.
That's the crazy thing, right? You ask people, like, people are always like, people say, like, they're not drug guys. He's already done more drugs than me. You know, people think I'm a drug guy just because I smoke weed. But I've never done mushrooms. I've never done anything besides weed.
Really?
So am I a drug guy or am I not a drug guy?
You're not a drug guy.
Compared to this guy down here.
You were a drug guy. You were one of the best. He was a Hall of Famer.
Well, I would say.
I'm sure you probably knew people who were more drug guys than you, though.
Well, by far.
Yeah.
Because I
relative.
I was a weed smoker and a drinker primarily, but I also am just an addictive personality. So anytime there were drugs to be done, I would do them. So but I never had like a horrendous hard drug problem. I mean, I got a little too into cocaine for a while, but I had stopped that before I even got sober. My real issue was drinking. Was drinking. Yeah, that was my real issue. But yeah, I mean, I've done a lot of different drugs. I have a wide range in my repertoire. You know what I mean? My resume.
I'm going to start throwing drugs out. You tell me if you did them.
Okay.
Special K.
Yes.
Really?
Nice.
Oh yeah.
Heroin.
Yes.
Nice.
Wow. Okay. Uppers.
Yeah. Cocaine, man.
Oh, all right.
Hell yeah.
And
Speedballs.
well, speed is weird because speed is not a thing. Speed is just a name for, I believe, any amphetamine. I think so. Like you've done speed because you've done Adderall,
I've never
but you've
done
taken it.
Adderall. I
You've
take
taken it as
Adderall.
you've taken it as
He
prescribed.
needs
But
Adderall.
like,
Yeah.
I mean, I used to blow. This was back. They've changed Adderall and Ritalin. They've changed the way the pills are. They made them safer. So if you go to crush it up, it doesn't work. But before that time, we used to crush up Adderalls and blow them. That was the way to do that, and you get pretty. That was a kind of a poor man's Coke. If you couldn't get your hands on Coke, you'd blow some lines of Adderall. I had a professor once. I think I've told this story. I walked
before
in.
you move into the professor, I have a question about that. Why do they call it blowing lines when you're not blowing, you're snorting?
I'll tell you why. Because it sounds cool as fuck.
That's all right. Let's close
Yeah,
the
like
book.
blowjob. I mean,
Close the book.
Yeah. They're not blowing on a blowjob. They're sucking. Same thing.
Well, they're
You ever
blowing
get-
it because I call it a blowjob because they just doesn't do it right. Okay, you fucking blew it.
You had your shot.
Fucking blew it.
Jesus Christ. I was paying attention. Just Tita brought me coffee. I hated that I looked.
No,
away
that's
from it.
fine. Okay, continue your list.
Sanders.
Not a drug.
Did you ever do any of the like DMT acid stuff?
I've done acid. I've done mushrooms. DMT and like ayahuasca and all that shit wasn't really known very much outside of like a very exclusive community before I got sober. But I probably wouldn't have anyway because of my anxiety. I never ever had a good trip doing psychedelics ever. Every single time was a bad trip. And because I was such an addict to just getting fucked up, even though I knew it went bad every time, someone would come around and be like, "Hey, I got some acid. You want to do it?" I'd be like, "Yeah, sure." Even though it was bad every time. And so psychedelics were never for me. I was too anxious.
There's something about that, right? About drugs that is like bravery, right? Like you got to give it to addicts. A lot of drugs, a lot of reasons I didn't do drugs is because I was a coward. I'm scared. I was scared. You would someone just gives you something, you do it. It's kind of like, I don't know how to say this and not try to sound like, but it's kind of like the initial thing of addiction is kind of brave.
You're also very trusting, right? You're trusting just some dude.
No, I don't think you're trusting. I think you're desperate. Because for instance, that whole story I have about how that guy sold me the fake Coke and I beat him up. Everyone's heard that. So he sold me a fake Coke. I think it was like 3 or 4 grams. I did a line, realized it was fake. And I was such an addict to getting high that I have no idea what this powder is. All I know is it's not
ain't Coke. Yeah.
So instead of it, and it did nothing happened. Nothing. It didn't. And I knew, and I tasted it, and I was like, "This isn't fucking Coke." And rather than throw it away, I chalked up the whole bag, the 3 grams, into one giant line and did the whole thing, just in case maybe it was something that would get
There's a
me
little
high.
in there.
Yeah, or something so that it's more desperation than it is bravery or anything like that. I would say. I mean, or trust because you don't.
Yeah, that makes a lot more sense.
Yeah, it's more just like I want to get fucked up. So, I don't know.
I snorted Nestea once. We had I swear to God, I was in the 7th grade. We had iced tea, the mix. And we were like, we don't do drugs, but we'll do this because that's funny. And it was like, yeah, no, that's just a drug that no one's gotten to yet. And it fucked us up. We didn't get high. It fucked me up.
I'm sure you got that weird sneezy, those hurt sneezes.
Hurt so bad. It was like glass.
A similar thing I used to love to do. I used to love this, and it's so weird. Is we would have these my dad, since he coached soccer, would have these big cans of powdered Gatorade. So he'd make the big jugs of Gatorade, like
Yeah.
the big, those big orange things. And that with those, you want to use the powder, obviously, because it's going to be way too expensive if you use the. And what I would do is I would keep the lid on. I would shake it up so the powder's kind of into the air, and then I'd take the lid off and breathe in the sugar. And
I've done that.
It tasted really good. It was like a fun fucking trick. Yeah, it was good, man. But I'm trying to think.
Oh.
Yeah, go ahead.
I just want to promote my Friday Night Greg. Can I do that real quick?
Yes.
Friday night at 11 o'clock, go on my YouTube channel for We're Taking Back Late Night. Late Night is back. We will be doing a live show at 11 o'clock. I don't know if Anthony's going to be there, but maybe Brendan will be there. You want to be the co-host?
If Anthony's not there, I'll fill in. Greg's got this fantastic new late night show every Friday, 11 o'clock Eastern Standard Time. Friday Night Greg. Don't miss it. You go to his YouTube channel. If you don't know, subscribe to his YouTube channel. Just Google Greg Stone Comedian YouTube. You'll get there. 11 o'clock. You got to be there live. You can watch him not live, but then it's like you were the guy that missed out on the big game. You had tickets and you didn't go. I
think I might go. Do you mind? I just feel so sad for Anthony right now that I'm having a hard time.
Okay,
with this.
Can I plug one thing? That's okay.
But you can Ruby could do the rest.
Much on time.
You and Ruby could do the rest of the episode.
No, I think we're good.
No, I'm not doing that. If you're going, I'm going. But let me do one thing.
I'll do it by myself.
I have a new podcast out on Riotcast. It's taking some time. I think Apple's backed up. It's not available on Apple podcast yet, but you can get it on the Riotcast website. You can get it, I believe it's available on Spotify, Stitcher, a few other places. It's called One Down. It's a comedy crossword podcast with Greg Warren. We both do the New York Times crossword puzzle every single day, and then once a week we make jokes about it. So check that out. Greg, man, I love you, brother. Dan, I love you. Let's all just think about Anthony and appreciate everything we have.
All right. Love you guys. Love everyone here.